Choose people who feel like home, who let your nervous system breathe, who see you, who make you feel most you, who leave you feeling warm and cozy inside, who care, who see you as enough, and who love the way you grow. Welcome to the Shift Your Vibe to Thrive podcast. My name is Emily Evans Russell, and I'm a single mom, multiple six-figure business owner, and master mindset and energy coach. I created this podcast with two main targets. One, to give you practical tools so that no matter where you are in your life right now, you not only know that things can shift, but you know how to make them greater. And two, to change your frequency so that you become an energetic match for everything you desire. I'm talking your relationships, your finances, your success, all of it. Think of this podcast as your weekly energetic upgrade with a mix of subconscious mind hacks, ways to quantum leap, and consciousness shifts. A place where you learn to sculpt your reality and actually finally truly have the magical life you deserve and one that works for uniquely you. Are you ready to uplevel your reality? I think I hear yes, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Thank you so much for being here. And now let's go to the show. So I found this quote a few months ago, and I wanted to read it as I think it's a great way to start this short conversation about regulating our nervous system, meaning like settling our nervous system back to a peaceful state by curating the people in our lives, the relationships we have in person, and also the ones we have long distance, often by social media. And it's a very simple tool that when we make some adjustments and curate that collection a bit, can really alter the state of peace and at ease we have with our body all the time. And the quote is, choose people who feel like home, who let your nervous system breathe, who see you, who make you feel most you, who leave you feeling warm and cozy inside, who care, who see you as enough, and who love the way you grow. And so that energy is different for everybody, but get that sense, all those things of who love the way you grow, see you as enough, let your nervous system breathe. What is that? Well, what gives you that energy and sense of peace? So I know for me, so lucky to have the sweetest dog ever. And every time he cozies up in bed with me and takes a big deep inhale and doggy exhale, my whole body relaxes with him. We actually co-regulate with the people and animals around us. Our nervous system is always taking in information from the senses around us, right? Through sight, sound, smells, touch, and basically letting us know, is there enough information in the environment to be safe, to relax? And so unconsciously, you're constantly scanning for that. And when there's enough input that, hey, yeah, everything is good, then the parasympathetic part of the nervous system, which I like to think of as the peaceful, they both start with P, kicks on. It's like a little lever. It's like, oh, we've got enough data, enough information has come in that it's okay to relax. And we do that by who we surround ourselves with and what's going on in their world and what they're vibrating at in their energy. And if their nervous system is relaxed, or if they're on constant alert or fight or flight, like a hyper-regulated, mobilized system, how does that look? Like easily irritated or angry or fed up or frustrated, can be signs of hyper-regulation. It's that fight or flight mode. Like I either want to run away or fight. And when that's activated in others around us, our nervous systems pick up that information, right? And it's like, oh, well, they must be aware of something. Like if their body is on alert, I should be on alert. So we co-regulate. The example with my dog, when we go for a walk, if he sees another dog and the dog growls at him, there's a moment of that kick on, right? The nervous system goes, oh, hold on, there's something I need to be aware of right now. It moves out of parasympathetic, relaxed state into sympathetic because there's new information, right? And that happens automatically. And what you see with animals is after that dog walks past, for example, and the perceived threat is gone, often like dogs will do a shake, right? And that's their nervous system. It's their way of going, okay, I'm going to like get rid of that energy back to peaceful state. Like now the information has changed. They don't hold on worrying about if that dog's going to come back around the corner. It's like done. The smell, the scent, the sight of the dog is gone. Their nervous system, naturally they take deeper breaths, or they shake and they come back into that parasympathetic state. That's why so many of us love being around animals, because we'll co-regulate to that peaceful, relaxed state. So, how do we do this in our life? By curating the relationships we have. So, really simple. Your body is always giving you information. So, notice the difference when you are around people that are, I like to think of them as both expanders and regulators. And there's people that are both. And it's such a wonderful combination of someone that expands my world, brings a sense of joy, lightness, expansion, when maybe there's a sense of strength in your body, or power or joy or lightness, this expansion. And regulation is also at the same time, there's this sense of like, everything's just like good, and I'm able to be relaxed and peaceful. It's like having this expansion at the same time as the energy of like being with a dog or a cat in your life, or a horse, or for some of us, it's that sense of walking in nature, right? That's a very different calmness. And often I find nature, animals are the one thing that we can relate to. Oh, that's a very different sense of peace. I'm just relaxed. I'm not worried about what someone else is thinking or how I'm showing up in front of another person. It's just like animals, nature, So people that give you that sense, it's different for everybody, but have that expansion, that lightness, that like strength in your body. You're breathing deeply. You feel safe, taken care of, everything is okay. That's this beautiful, like, curate more of those people and experiences in your life. We say yes, when we say yes to those more often, we'll have more of that peaceful energy. And also co-regulating with those people, our nervous system get more input of it's all good, everything's good, there's no like threat in the environment. On the other hand, if your body is giving you that message of this actually doesn't feel like that, and you notice yourself getting irritated or annoyed or sad or tearful or shallow breathing, or like you want to crawl out of your skin, our bodies are giving us information that for whatever reason, our nervous system is picking up information that, hey, it's not okay to be here. And our logical brains can think us in or out of any situation. But when we start listening to that embodied wisdom, that deep knowing that comes from the body, and be curious about it, and then use that to curate, like, who are we interacting with? If we have someone in our lives that gives us a sense of contraction, or oh my God, is the other shoe going to drop? Like on edge all the time. Or maybe it's just like super, super intense and uncomfortable. Or maybe it's super like threatened, or like, and what's interesting is if we're around that all the time, like say maybe a boss elicits that energy, our nervous system can start to go, well, I guess this is normal. And those red flags that your body is telling you, like, hey, not, we don't want to be here. This is not actually an environment where we can relax. When our nervous system relaxes, when we turn on that parasympathetic peaceful state, that's where we have access to innovation, creativity, intuition, problem solving, like extrapolative thinking. All of that's available because we're not in, oh my God, there's a threat to my survival. When sympathetic nervous system turns on and it's fight, flight, or freeze, the number one priority is survival. That's the way our bodies are made. That is just what the programming that comes with a human body. So everything else goes out the window. Creativity, sensualness, like expansion, like that's not important when you're about to get eaten by a lion, right? And anything to the nervous system that is a threat or a perceived threat is read as that. So if we can slowly curate our worlds to include more people, more experiences in person and online that give us a sense of peace and relaxation and calm and everything is okay, your nervous system, we're adding more data saying, yep, everything's good, continue to relax, we have more energy now available for all of the yummy stuff. Instead of when we're in survival mode, all of that energy is going to make your legs stronger and your arms stronger, or forelegs, so we can run away, or strengthen our jaw so we can fight and bite, neither of which are useful, right? All of our blood leaves the brain, so we actually get stupider and go into this mode of fight or flight or freeze, like where we can't do anything. It's like, it's better just to not take any action at all. And that is not an ideal place to be living, because that is survival mode, not thrival. So if people feel to your nervous system as a threat, not like home, we're shaking, we're crying, it doesn't matter. Your body's giving you that information. So listening to it and going, okay, could I say no to this event or person? Same with our social media feed. This is really simple, but we get used to the algorithm is learning all the time. And if you start to notice, hey, I followed this one person or this one company for a long time, and now when I see their posts, if it makes you feel at all contracted, weird, in judgment, smaller, weaker in your body, less powerful, less in your knowing, there's a magical button called mute. So you can unfollow pages on, Facebook, Instagram, whatever social media outlet you're on. There's also one where you can mute. So you just don't see posts from that person, or unfollow or mute for 30 days. Just give yourself a trial of, okay, notice the energy as you're scrolling. If it's not lighter, more expansive, you're seeing different possibilities, it's creative, then it's, pardon my alarm going off, then just play with muting it or unfollowing it. Often if you tend to compare yourself, like if you're in business, for example, in a certain area, maybe you're a songwriter and so you follow other songwriters, but you notice yourself judging yourself or comparing to what they're creating, unfollow people in your same business or artistic flair or whatever that is. If you find yourself doing comparison, play with unfollowing or muting those accounts and just adding in, okay, what gives you more peace or ease? Maybe it's happy dog videos, or travel accounts, or nature, different trees or sea animals. When I started noticing what brings me a sense of relaxation, I started following some new accounts like Roam the Oceans and some other ones with sea creatures and animals that I love, other nature travel blogs. And I changed my algorithm and I unfollowed or muted any account, business, person where for whatever reason, it was making me feel contracted or not or in comparison or in judgment. Now, rather than making myself wrong, I just did it as an experiment. So I curated those online relationships and noticed, what's my energy like? And this is where you do an energy audit. Do I have more energy, more lightness, more expansion? Then yes, keep moving in that direction. So same with people in person. If I say yes to this event, this person, this thing, do I leave feeling more energetic, more expansive, more peaceful, more relaxed? If those are yeses, awesome. Then choose more of that. If there are people, events, things that you find yourself going to out of, I should do this, I have to do this, I ought to do this, I have to do this, and you're leaving feeling less energy, more drained, more insecure or not safe or in judgment, what if you curated and just said no thank you? A very loving no thank you to those things, even if they've been people or events or standing obligations in your life for a long time. You have the choice to curate and craft the people you interact with in person and online. And I like to look at this as just an experiment. And I noticed when I changed what I was seeing online, when I changed the people I was seeing on a daily basis in person, or also like on Zooms or however else we're interacting with people. And notice if I prioritized my peace and my relaxation and the people that love, like that quote said, love to see me grow, care, let my nervous system take a big, I wasn't scared or crying or things that my body was having that reaction in certain situations and around people. And I was like, this doesn't make sense. This is weird. Instead of judging myself, I just said, well, you know what? Let's do an experiment and let's add more things and people and experiences into my life that give me this sense of relaxation and pause and peace and care and deep breath energy. And then lessen my interaction or say no thank you to things that I was doing out of obligation or should or have to. And I know there are some people and things like we all have jobs, and maybe there's someone at work that is draining your energy or like putting you into that fear mode or fight mode. Then we can look at lessening those interactions or getting ourselves in a place, getting our own nervous system regulated. And there's many, many ways to do that, right? Like some simple taking some deep breaths. Maybe you have another, like you take a walk outside, or you put your feet in the grass, or you get in sunshine, or you, before you interact with that person. If you know like, hey, this is right now part of my work life or part of my family vacation, and I tend to react in this way, then what can you do to regulate your nervous system before interacting with that person so that you don't have to respond from that freak out? And then all the other interactions, the things we have choice over, the people, our social interactions, our social media online, the things, the people, the places we go to, curating that so that there's more calm, there's more information coming into that parasympathetic nervous system to let your body know it's okay to relax. And when we're in that state, that's where we have access to all of our capacities, like this incredible deep wisdom and knowing and intuition and creativity and expansion and extrapolation and sensualness and presence in our body and all of this stuff that's present when we're in that parasympathetic relaxed state. So very simple tool, but is really curating the relationships and the way we spend our time and energy with, and the people that we do that with online and in person. So I hope this little simple tool helps, and experiment with it and just notice. You can always change your schedule and change who you interact with, but just get curious about the information your body is telling you and choose more towards what brings you a sense of peace and calm. I hope you got something out of that episode. If you like this podcast, please share it with someone you know who'd find it useful or interesting, and subscribe so that you can listen to past and upcoming shows.